damn down letting Nicki Minaj needs to be worried about Chris Hansen. She needs to be worried.
Because I don't think that she is a legal citizen here. She is undocumented.
Nicki Minaj has been acting like everything is totally fine, smiling in pictures, posting online, showing up to events like nothing is wrong. But behind the scenes, things haven't been calm at all. On the outside, it looks shiny and perfect. Big house, fancy clothes, huge fame. But sometimes, even when everything looks beautiful, there can be serious problems hiding underneath. This whole situation goes back to something that had nothing to do with music. Back in 2019, while Nicki was performing in another country, her husband, Kenneth Petty, was involved in a fight backstage with a security guard. Reports said the guard was badly hurt. After that, the guard filed a lawsuit. That means he asked the court for money to cover medical bills and other damages. The problem got worse when Nicki and her husband reportedly didn't show up to court. When you ignore court dates, things don't just disappear, they usually get bigger. A judge eventually ordered them to pay $500,000. That's $500,000. And when that money wasn't handled right away, the court approved steps to collect it, even if that meant going after property. That's when her huge Hidden Hills mansion was almost taken and sold. Yes, almost. It was reportedly very close to being seized. Then, at the last minute, the money was paid, the house was saved. But it didn't look like a big, powerful move. It looked like a close call. And this wasn't just about one incident. Many people say Kenneth Petty has had legal troubles in the past. Because of that, some fans have started asking questions. They wonder why Nicki keeps standing by him no matter what. For years, Nicki's image was strong, bold, and powerful. She was seen as independent, a leader, a superstar who built her own empire. Now, the headlines aren't just about music anymore. They're about courtrooms and lawsuits. That shift feels different. Then something else surprised people. Nicki appeared at a political event called AmFest. It's known for having strong conservative views. Some fans were confused because in the past, Nicki had spoken about immigration struggles and growing up with challenges. Now she was standing with people who support stricter immigration rules. To some fans, it felt like a big change, a sudden one. After that, she began posting more Bible verses and talking about faith and values. There's nothing wrong with faith, but some people felt confused because at the same time, she was arguing publicly with critics online. Comedian D.L. Hughley spoke about the situation too. He said the real issue wasn't haters. He said it was about choices, especially choices about who you stand beside and defend. Nicki responded online. Screenshots were posted, words were exchanged. It felt messy, fast, emotional. And people noticed the contradiction, talking about peace and values while also firing back at critics. Fans started asking, what's really going on? This isn't just about music charts anymore. It's about trust. For years, Nicki had strong support from many communities, especially Black women, LGBTQ+ community, immigrants, and Day One Barbs. They supported her early on. They bought albums, went to concerts, helped her grow into a superstar. Now, some of those same fans feel confused, not necessarily angry, just unsure. Because when someone changes direction quickly, people want to understand why. Some believe she's trying to find a new audience. Others think she's just standing firm in her beliefs. But either way, the conversation has shifted. Instead of talking about hit songs, people are talking about reputation. And reputation is fragile. Money can fix wills, it can save houses, but it can't instantly repair trust. The bigger question isn't, will she lose her mansion? The bigger question is, will she lose the connection she built with her fans? When fans start feeling distant, that's a different kind of loss. Right now, it feels like Nicki is trying to protect her image, posting confidently, smiling in photos, acting like everything is under control. But when problems stack up, lawsuits, public arguments, sudden political shifts, people start noticing the cracks. This doesn't mean her career is over. It means she's at a crossroads. Every big celebrity faces moments like this, moments where choices matter more than image, where actions speak louder than captions. The world is watching. Some fans are still loyal, others are stepping back, not because they hate her, but because they're trying to understand her. And that's where things stand. This isn't just a story about fame, it's a story about decisions, about loyalty, about how fast things can change when you're in the spotlight. The real question is, what happens next? Because one thing is clear, this story isn't finished yet.
Artists grow, people change, beliefs shift, alliances adjust. That's human. But when your original fan base feels disconnected from your new direction, tension builds. Not necessarily betrayal, but distance. And distance is dangerous in entertainment. The LGBTQ+ community has historically been a strong pillar of Nicki's support system. Black women uplifted her career from its earliest stages. Immigrant narratives connected people to her journey. When those same groups express confusion, it creates emotional headlines. Because this isn't just about streams, it's about identity, and identity shifts are harder to manage than album rollouts. Yet, here's the part that often gets ignored. Nicki Minaj is still one of the most influential female rappers in history. Her catalog is deep, her cultural impact undeniable, her fanbase still massive. But influence and invincibility are not the same thing. Right now, she's navigating a phase that feels heavier than past controversies, because this one blends legal pressure, political optics, personal loyalty, and public perception into one narrative. That's complex, and complexity doesn't resolve overnight. The question becomes, does she double down? Does she recalibrate? Does she lean fully into a new identity? Or does she return focus strictly to music and let everything else quiet down? History shows that careers can survive storms, but storms test foundations. Nicki built hers on boldness, reinvention, and resilience. If those traits remain intact, this could become just another chapter, not the final one. But if contradictions continue stacking up without clarity, confusion may replace confidence among fans. And once confusion spreads, rebuilding trust takes time. The music industry loves comeback stories, but it also studies cautionary tales. Which direction this becomes, that depends on the next moves. Because right now, this isn't about cancellation, it's about crossroads. Nicki Minaj is not fading, she's shifting. And shifts can either signal evolution or instability. The world is watching to see which one this is. One thing is certain, this moment will define more than a chart position. It will define legacy. And legacy, that's bigger than any mansion, bigger than any tweet, bigger than any political appearance. The Queen of the Barbs built an empire once. Now the question is, how does she protect it? Because the spotlight hasn't dimmed. If anything, it's brighter than ever. So where does all of this leave Nicki Minaj? At a crossroads, not at the end, not erased, not finished, but standing in a moment that feels heavier than any rap beef, any chart battle, any award show snub. This isn't about who has the #1 record. This is about legacy. Because when the cameras flash and the red carpets roll out, that's the glamorous part of fame. But legacy? Legacy is built in the uncomfortable moments, the messy ones, the chapters where everything feels shaky and the world is watching to see how you respond. Nicki Minaj has already proven she knows how to fight. She's battled critics, she's battled competition, she's battled an industry that didn't always make space for women at the top, and she won. That's not up for debate. But this chapter is different. This isn't a lyrical opponent you can out-rap. It's not a chart war you can outstream. It's not a diss track you can clap back at in 16 bars. This is perception. This is trust. This is the relationship between an artist and the people who built her platform. Because at the core of every empire is community,
And community doesn't just want hits, they want consistency, they want clarity, they want to feel respected. Right now, fans aren't just debating music, they're debating direction. They're asking questions. They're trying to understand the moves, the alliances, the reactions, the timing of everything. And when confusion replaces confidence, that's when things start to shift. But here's the powerful truth. This story isn't finished, not even close. Careers don't collapse because of one storm. They collapse when storms are ignored, when reflection never happens, when pride speaks louder than strategy. Nicki has reinvented herself before. She's shifted eras, aesthetics, sounds, and personas. Reinvention is part of her DNA. The real question now is, what kind of reinvention happens next? Does she lean into controversy and double down? Does she step back and recalibrate? Does she refocus purely on music and let the noise fade away? Or does she redefine what her empire stands for moving forward? Whatever the answer is, one thing is certain: people are watching. Not just critics, not just media outlets, but the day one supporters. The ones who streamed the mixtapes, the ones who defended her online, the ones who saw themselves reflected in her journey. When that core audience starts feeling uncertain, that's not hate, that's a signal. And signals are opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to clarify, to rebuild where cracks may be forming. Because legacy isn't about never stumbling, it's about how you recover when you do. Right now, the spotlight is brighter than ever. Every post, every appearance, every response carries weight. And in moments like this, silence can speak loudly, but so can intention. Nicki Minaj has built too much to be reduced to one narrative. Too much influence, too much impact, too many cultural moments. But impact doesn't protect you from accountability, and fame doesn't shield you from perception. This chapter will be remembered. The only question is how, as a turning point that strengthened her empire, or as the moment where confusion overshadowed clarity. Time will tell. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think this is just another storm she'll rise above? Do you believe this is a strategic pivot, or does this moment feel different from past controversies? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep it respectful, keep it real. If you want more deep dives like this, breaking down the headlines, the shifts, the moves behind the music, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with someone who's been following the story. Let's keep the conversation going. Because whether you're a supporter, a critic, or somewhere in between, one thing is clear. This saga isn't over. The empire hasn't fallen, but the next move, it matters, and we'll be right here watching how it unfolds.